going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. So today is Saturday. Hope you're having an awesome weekend wherever you are. If we have a look at the markets, we finally have some green coming back after that little dip that we had yesterday. So we're feeling a little bit better right now. Also, if this is your first time checking out the Crypto Zombie YouTube channel and you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for? We do this every single day. Also, I want to give a shout out to all of you on last night's Ledger Nano X tutorial that I put out. I said I was going to blur out my addresses and I didn't blur them out. And everybody was just like, K-Dub, you didn't blur your addresses out. Oh no, people can see your public key, your public address. Yeah, listen, guys, I said I was going to blur it out, and then when I went to go put the video out, I just said to myself, you know what, this is way too much editing, so I just ended up completely just scrapping those private keys and just redoing it, but thank you so much for your concern. You guys rock, and that's the way you should be thinking. Also, if you guys didn't check out my Ledger Nano X tutorial, if you could, after, like, not now, but maybe after the video, just go give it a quick watch, you know, just click on it, maybe give it a like. It's obviously an educational video, and I know there's a lot of new people coming into the space. I just want to make sure that it gets, you know, some views and some likes so that more people will see that video. Thank you so much. I do appreciate it. Now let's move on to the market. That's enough, okay? But seriously, you guys rock. Thank you. So, look at this, guys. A lot better today. We have a $229 billion market cap. Bitcoin is up 1.75%, and we do have some altcoins doing quite well today. BitTorrent is up 30%. Actually, all the Binance IEOs were pumping yesterday, like Seller and Fetch and obviously Matic Network and now BitTorrent. So what's up with that? Anyway, we also have PundiX as well, Holochain, Solve, Factum, Zilliqa, Basic Attention, Loopring, Stellar, Icon, Augur, Decentraland. Let's be honest, there's a lot of green today, guys. We are having some recovery. Hopefully you guys had the opportunity to, you know, maybe scoop some up on the dip over there. As you can see right here, currently we are seeing still some sell over at Coin Farm, but this morning I was seeing some strong buy signals. So, but you know, these markets, they're very temperamental. So let's hop over and have a look. What happened yesterday? Well, we had that massive Bitstamp sell, right? 5,000 Bitcoin, and they sold it at $6,200. But the thing that we wanted to point out too, and this is where that whole like conspiracy stuff comes in, is you could see that there was a gap in the Bitcoin CME futures that happened right here. And as you've probably heard, gaps get filled, right? So we had to fill the gap. There was a dump conveniently, and now we are back on track. So having a look at where we are right now, you can see that we did fall down here. We wicked all the way down to 6,500 on Coinbase. We went even lower on Bitstamp, and luckily we haven't gone below this sort of $6,400 level, this really insane resistance that we had before we broke through. So that's what we have our eyes on. We also do have somewhat of an upwards trend that's been forming, very, very loose, but I am keeping my eye on it, okay? So we might wind ourselves a little bit closer into here before having a bit of a breakout. But also, look what we have right here. That's right, our good old buddy, Bart Simpson. Now do you guys know what I'm talking about with that, it's like the Bart Simpson pattern? Okay, so I also want to talk about greed and fear and greed index. That has also pulled back a little bit. We were up to 75 last week, and obviously yesterday we had 65 because of that massive drop. But the thing that I do want to point out is if we come over here, should we be getting ultimately bearish? Should we be expecting massive plummets? No, guys, I do think we have a chance for a pullback, okay? And I'm going to talk about it right now, actually. So here's the situation. Right now, we have seen that we have fallen under some of the EMA ribbon bands. Right here, we have the 20, the 25, and the 30 that are currently keeping a lot of pressure on us. Now, if we can get back above that, if we can get back above all of them, then you can see as soon as we do, we go straight on into parabolic mode, right? But currently we are sitting below it. Also though, I do want to point out that if you look at the overall volume, even though it is the weekend, you are noticing, look at this, the trend of the overall volume is up, right? If we ignore all of this area right here, we are trending upwards. So when you have a lot of volume, you don't necessarily have these parabolic jumps, right? You usually get that squeeze when you come to the end of a wedge and volume sort of gets really, really low. So I'm not really looking for any massive moves right now. We could get caught off guard like we did yesterday, but that was circumstantial. That was literally one order. Which also, I just want to point out, one order was able to do that to the market. So that just goes to show you how young we are right now. But let me just simplify this, okay? We don't need to have all these different indicators and things all over the place. It's quite simple right now. Currently, this is where Bitcoin is, all right? We're trading in between these two levels. We have our key support here around 6,400, and now it looks like we may potentially have some resistance at 7,500. As you can see, if we go back here to May 10th and May 10th, 11th, and 12th, we were also having some very similar resistance. We were able to break above that. And then obviously the ultimate, we're just going to the moon. We have to get above that $8,268 level. So these two blue regions represent, this is sort of like the danger zone, and this is sort of like the to the moon zone, right? And we're currently sitting here in the middle. And also I just put this in here for the psychological $7,000 sort of level to just keep our eyes on, right? Now, if we hop on over and look at the Super Guppy, which I know some of you hate this indicator, I'm sorry. Maybe it's the name Super Guppy. But as you can see right here, we are still full on bullish on the Super Guppy. And at the same time, we're still above all of these major moving averages, okay? So these are just things to keep in mind. And also, if you look down here, we still do have volume increasing. So this is something you can look at very positively moving forward. However, I do want to be realistic about this, and I do want to point out that we are currently in this downwards channel. Now, this is over on the 1 hour, so super zoomed in, okay? But I do want to show you guys that we have been putting in lower highs and lower lows on a very short time frame. So what does that mean if we go back here? Where could we end up going? Well, we may end up bouncing around in this region a little bit, guys. And, worst case scenario, we may touch all the way down to that $6,400, $6,300 level, okay? So I just wanted to point that out. But we must look at the big picture here, okay? This is what we were talking about yesterday, and this is the grand scheme of things, and this is comparing where we are in terms of the halvening. And as you can see right here, all the way back since 2011, we literally repeat the same cycles over and over and over again. We go bull market, bear market, accumulation, expansion, reaccumulation, and then we go back into the bull market again, and we do this over and over and over again. We have completed this cycle 2 times, and if history repeats itself, it appears as if we are really struggling to actually pretty much do the same thing again. So if you notice, on each end of the expansion stage, there's always a massive dump, right? We had the 40% that happened, or I think it was 50% in 2015. There was another dump back here right around in 2012. Okay, so are we going to experience something similar? Well, we did have a 20%, but we didn't have anything more, right? And usually we see a little bit more of a correction before we really start, the actual reaccumulation phase. So if I hop over here to the charts, what could we be looking at? And this is I'm just making this up, don't go off of this, but it is very possible that we could see, Bitcoin sort of bounce around, touch some of these things, and we could go down to this $6,400 level. And if you're looking at some other, you're just saying we need to go and really drop lower, then we could potentially, come all the way down here to this support that we've had. And, we kept putting in higher highs and higher lows, all the way through this region. So it still does look quite bullish long term. Short term, we may have a little bit of a sell off or something of that nature. But, as you can see, somebody was kind enough on Reddit to complete the chart right here. We're on track. We're still on track for $140,000 Bitcoin. So yeah, short term, we may have, a little bit of a bumpy patch to go, but long term, the price outlook looks really great. And also, I want to talk about not just Bitcoin price, because there's so many more indicators right now. For example, look at the fact that the miners' difficulty has actually been slowly increasing ever since we had that really crazy miner. Remember, it was really bad. The miners were shutting down. They were just throwing in the towel. They were giving up. I mean, it was really depressing times when we had that November sell-off. Well, look at this. We've had the mining difficulty increase along with the Bitcoin price increasing, which is signaling to me that miners are becoming more confident. They're now turning on more machines. The hash rate is increasing, right? So this is good overall. This is not just Bitcoin. This is the miners and everything else as well, okay? And also, not to mention, the sentiment has completely changed. I mean, look at this. Everywhere you go, Bitcoin's back. What the experts think. I mean, we got this guy, again, they're bringing up the $1 million Bitcoin pizza story. You know that story where the guy, bought pizza with Bitcoin, and it would have been worth like millions of dollars now had he hodled onto it, right? And the other thing that I want to point out is, as we were looking back on these charts over here, we do know that markets move in cycles. And I want to play this video right now real quick. This is from Matty Greenspan over at eToro, and he talks about how markets move in cycles and what potentially is happening to Bitcoin currently. And I think this is a really interesting video, so I definitely think you guys should check this out.
We're just actually part of a larger cycle. Bitcoin has gone through several cycles before, these massive bull runs. We're talking about sometimes 10,000, 50,000% gains within a short period of time. And then it has these massive retracements, that can be 80% or even 90%. And that's just what we had, coming off of $20,000 per coin, all the way down to just above $3,000 per coin. That was about an 85% retracement. And the speculation in the market at the moment is that we are just getting started on that next parabolic cycle. Bitcoin is the best performing asset class. Crypto is the best performing asset class in the world. So far this year, Bitcoin itself has risen. Even with yesterday's drop, is up 100% since January 1st. So if the media is covering it, that's great. If not, I think that there's a very large community, a very growing community that's adopting crypto industries. But I would say that the news headlines that we've been seeing yet are headlines that indicate that mass adoption is just around the corner. So, for example, Microsoft just announced that they actually want to use the Bitcoin blockchain in order to increase online security. We've seen HTC announce that they're going to produce a telephone that you can carry a copy of the Bitcoin blockchain, a full node, right in your pocket. We've seen an announcement from Flexa, which is a payment provider, which goes to Whole Foods and thousands of other retailers across the United States, that is going to allow people to pay at the cashier with cryptocurrency without the cashier even knowing it. It's going to be a seamless integration. So there's a lot of really, really good news right now. And as well, volumes in the crypto industry right now are at their highest levels ever by far. We saw the CME group the futures contracts going above $1 billion in a single day. Across the top crypto exchanges, they're all reporting highest ever volumes at the moment.
So as you can see, we're not only just talking about the beginning of a potential parabolic uptrend in Bitcoin's price, but also, as Matty Greenspan mentions, mass adoption. And this is something that I'm huge on my channel about. And you know this, if you guys watch this channel regularly, we are always looking for mass adoption. When are the masses coming in? When are we going to really have those institutions? Well, it's happening right now. We're having solutions. We're being able to pay with crypto, using the Flexa app, right? So much good news, so much positivity, and it's a totally different landscape than it was during any of the other market cycles. So we could potentially be setting up for something that we have never seen before. By the way, guys, if you haven't checked out the interview that I did with Matty Greenspan, he was on the channel, and he actually was talking about this really crazy resistance we had to break through. And once we finally broke through it, we actually did kind of start the bull trend. So if you haven't seen that video, I'm gonna drop it right there. Definitely check it out. It was a pretty good interview, guys. So, like Blocktown Capital says, call Bitcoin a bubble just one more time. Bitcoin is up over 10,000x in just 10 years and ongoing, billions in liquidity. Meanwhile, you have Tulip Mania, 40x return, 3 years start to finish, low liquidity. South Sea Company, 7x return, 3.5 years start to finish, low liquidity. And Beanie Babies, just go home, right? Just go home. But what about gold? What about gold? Well, we were looking at the gold charts just a few days ago, and the interesting thing is that Bitcoin and gold are having a complete Well, first of all, they're not even really correlated whatsoever at this point, but you're noticing that gold has actually been selling off while Bitcoin has been skyrocketing. I don't even know what gold is today. I don't really keep track of it every day, but about a week ago, it was only up like 0.5%. 0.5%. Even with the 20% dip that Bitcoin took yesterday, we're still up over 100%, okay? So definitely you're seeing that sentiment move. And I wanted to also just really quick play this clip that Barry Silbert had when he was talking over at Bloomberg about the sentiment of gold and what's really happening in the background and how investors are shifting their mind frame into Bitcoin.
I mean, there was sort of the physical nature of it, at least for people of a certain generation. Right. It does provide a little bit of comfort, whether it's a great store of value or not. That's definitely debatable.
Well, and look, I think where gold has history and cultural significance, it lacks in utility. It lacks in usefulness. Bitcoin as a financial rail, as a way to move money around the world, as a new financial system, has the potential to be incredibly valued from an intrinsic perspective. Gold is, look, it's used in jewelry, its use in electronics is down like 30% over the past 9 years. So while smartphone sales are going up and sales are going up, its use and its real utility is actually going down. In fact, the more expensive gold gets, the less useful it is because they substitute it out for something else. So it's central banks buying. So basically, if you're buying gold, you're betting on the central banks, which is weird because gold bugs think that central bankers are idiots and don't know monetary and fiscal policy. So there's a real disconnect between, okay, I'm going to bet on the bankers doing the right thing, yet they're the ones who are buying gold right now.
So you can see, as the title says below, there's a generational shift in the way that people are thinking about gold. And even that argument about gold being used for electronics, well, he says even that's a problem because he says if the price of gold does start to rise, well, that's actually bad because then they're just going to find an alternative to it. So that's the situation that we have right now. And I just really wanted to point that out, living in a time where we have basically kids being born with smartphones, nobody's touching fiat, nobody's touching physical gold, right? What are you using? You're using Apple Pay, or you're buying things on your Shake Shack app, right, to go eat food, or you're using an Uber. You don't even need cash. There's apps for everything. There's apps for literally every single store, right? My girlfriend, she has a Victoria's Secret, app, and there's an app for like Marshalls, and just there's an app for everything. So it's just crazy how everyone is so used to, kids are using, V-Bucks on Fortnite, right? And it's such a digital space that when you just look at this old concept, they're just holding clunky, actual physical gold, it just doesn't really make sense anymore. And there were a few other key takeaways too. Underlying Bitcoin infrastructure is improving, general shift in the way investors are thinking about gold, and also the rising interest from institutional investors, which we have proven time and time again. And getting back on that topic of the younger generation actually being so accustomed to using digital forms of means for payment, don't forget about this poll that came out from the IMF. We would like to hear from you. Okay, now this came out on April 10th. How do you think we will be paying for lunch in 5 years? This had 37,660 votes, and 56% said cryptocurrency, absolutely blowing the mobile phone, bank card, and obviously cash out of the water. And this wasn't just crypto people responding to this, okay? This was from the IMF. All right, so you could see this is the overall shift in sentiment. And before we go, I just want to leave you guys on some real positive news. This was a great article that came out from Crypto Slate, and it says that data shows that mainstream interest in Bitcoin is surging. As you can see right here, Google says Bitcoin is worth a look. In fact, Bitcoin is trending over things like Donald Trump and the Kardashians right now. Currently, you can tell that people are interested. Also, as Kevin Rook pointed out, the Bitcoin virus continues to spread. You can see how many addresses own more than one Bitcoin. So, why would somebody, and one Bitcoin is worth, over $7,000 at the time of making this video. That's a lot of money. So why would so many people want to own one Bitcoin if this was a super crazy, potentially dangerous, which it is very speculative asset, but if people didn't see the value in it, why are people scrambling to accumulate one Bitcoin? Guys, do you know there's only 44 million millionaires in the world? Do you know there's 21 million Bitcoin and probably 4 million are lost forever? That means there's not enough Bitcoin in the world for even half of the world's millionaires to own one Bitcoin, okay? So let me ask you a question. Do you own one Bitcoin? Because if you don't, you need to own at least one. Not financial advice, but it kind of is financial advice, but technically I'm not allowed to say it is, but you know where I'm coming from, okay? And then also, like I said, with what's been going on with Flexa, 30,000 different merchants opening their doors to Bitcoin, and obviously increased interest brings a more stable market. The higher we go, the higher the volume, the higher the market cap, the more stable the markets become, right? That's the problem with these very young markets. They're very, very volatile. And before we go, I'm not going to read this article, but I think it's a great thing to show someone who's maybe trying to get interested. They don't know if they should buy crypto. They're very, they're sitting on the sidelines. 10 reasons why you should invest in cryptocurrency. And you can see right here, blockchain tech, modes of payment, best performing asset class, increase in value, undervalued assets, support by financial giants, yeah, just you guys can check this out. Store of value, et cetera, et cetera. So that's basically what I wanted to say before we go. And that is it for today, guys. So thank you so much again for coming back to the channel. I hope you found value out of this video. Friendly reminder, like I said, if you could, just hop over and just give my Ledger Nano X tutorial. Maybe just like watch the video for like 30 seconds or something to give it a little bit of view time and just smash the thumbs up. I really want to make sure that this video gets out there. A lot of new people are coming into the space. And yeah, I may have to start making some more educational videos. I know they're not exactly the most popular, but there are a lot of new people in the space, and we are getting those questions. And it is a good thing because remember, you were once a beginner, as well, right? We all had that. I mean, I still sometimes get nervous, sending crypto transactions, right? So anyway, going back to this video from yesterday,
Matic,
Matic. Yeah, Matic's been doing crazy. Wow, Matic's been on a tear. So anyway, let's do we got to give away the shirt. We had the chain link shirt. I don't know where it is, but you guys know from yesterday. So we had 653 unique comments. All right, drum roll, please. Ledger is mine. Whoa, Scott, I'll tell you what, if we were giving away the Ledger, you would have won, but it was actually for the t-shirt. So you're still eligible for the t-shirt, buddy. Let me know if you want it. If not, we'll redo it again tomorrow. I'm sorry it wasn't for the Ledger, it was for the t-shirt, but let me know if you still want the t-shirt. You did totally win, so thank you so much. Also, as you guys know, we do give away the Ledger Nano S every single Monday, which is coming up. All you gotta do is drop a comment below. And that's it for me today, so I hope you guys are enjoying your weekend. How's Bitcoin looking? Let's hop over and look at this guy. All right, so yeah, $7,300 on Coinbase. So we're just chilling. I would imagine that we chill in this region for a little bit. But, it's crypto. I could put the video out. 20% dump, right? One person makes a sale. So that being said, thank you so much for coming back to the channel. If you haven't got subscribed yet, I do this every single day. Shout out to everyone that's been liking, subscribing, and commenting, joining the Telegram group. You guys know I love you. Everyone that's been hopping down, using the referral links below. If you haven't downloaded Brave Browser yet, definitely get it for an ad-free experience. I think that's enough for me today, guys. Enjoy your weekend. It's a beautiful day here in New York. I'm gonna go get some sun, get away, get out of the office for a little bit, and just go do something. It's a beautiful day. Stop, you should do that too. Put down the Blockfolio, stop refreshing the app every 5 seconds, and go enjoy yourself today, okay? I'll be here tomorrow and every single day. You know that. That being said, I freaking love you guys. Thank you so much. My name is K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. Until next time, stay crypto and peace out.